Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Up in Smoke. My name is Tracy, this is the 3-Wick Thesis candle channel, and today I have for you my March empties. I have empties from my 5 favorite candle retailers. I also have some body care and some household care items that I'll be sharing with you. And you're going to see me kind of cut back and forth between home here in California and the stepdad's place, because by the time you see this, I will be in Michigan visiting the stepdad, and he's going to have some empties that he got through that we started in January when I was there, and he's finished up between now and when I left at the end of January. I'm going to start with Bath & Body Works, where I always do. I did put in chapter notes below, or you can hover your mouse if you're on a browser if you want to skip around. Also, please keep in mind that if I forget to share with you strength, it's average. I usually remember to tell you when it performs poor, and I usually remember to tell you when it's a beast, and I often forget the in-between. Also, I am joined here by my co-host, PB. You might hear him purring. I think the AI software I use usually takes care of that, but just in case it doesn't, it's him. Okay. Bath & Body Works 3 wicks, I have 6 of them. Some of these are actually from previous rotations. Like this one is from December, and I just finished it up this past month. For some reason this year I really struggled to get through Lavender and Pine, and this is from winter 2024, by the way. I feel like it was just super sharp and very high-pitched in a way that I was struggling to blend it with my other lavender candles. I feel like it took over my pine candles, and I just went a lot slower with it this year than I have in previous years. I love the scent, don't get me wrong, and I do still have a backup of this one, but I'm going to have to keep in mind that this could be a bit of a struggle for me to finish off. I also really love the jar of this season. This year's wasn't as pretty because when this is lit, the light comes through and kind of hits all the gold accents. So there's gold stars, there's gold snowflakes, there's gold on the trees, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Plus there's the decorative snowflake lid that came with this. So all around, I'm very happy with the vessel. I'm actually going to save this to rehouse a different candle in. Got to clean it up first though so it doesn't continue to smell like lavender and pine. Phenomenal candle scent jar, love it all, but just a little bit too strong for me. This one was definitely a powerhouse in terms of performance. It's freshly picked lavender, cedarwood bark, and frosted pine, and for me this is a sharp pine candle first. And the pine note is very high-pitched. It also reads a bit sappy sweet to me. And then the lavender comes in. And it plays really nicely with the pine. It's like the sharp, sweet elements of the lavender meld with the pine, and it almost feels like a single scent. It's clearly 2 different ones, but it blends so nicely that it feels singular. I don't really get cedarwood bark in here. I think of cedarwood bark and I think of like earthiness, raw wood, hamster shavings, cedar closet, cedar hope chest, and I just get pine and lavender. Yeah, super clean burn too. No complaints about the burn. I do want to highlight that sometimes I watch other people's Instagram pages or I see the reviews of Bath & Body Works and Goose Creek for that matter candles, and they're constantly complaining about the sooting and how dirty they are and oh it's disgusting and I don't know, all sorts of negative comments about the quality. And you do get that sometimes with both Bath & Body Works and Goose Creek, although I think Goose Creek tends to be dirtier in general than Bath & Body Works. But I have found that when I practice good candle care, all of that gets reduced significantly. And I'm still going to have one from Goose Creek that acted up. Don't get me wrong, it still happens. But in general, I don't have the sort of dirty nastiness that I see other people complaining about. But y'all, I trim my wicks to the nub every burn. Unless it's getting swampy. I have one of those I'm going to share with you. I'll do that one next. Where I leave a note that says no trim. But that's only if it's swamp wicking, which means basically it's almost putting itself out. The wicks are so low in terms of flame. I did do a candle care video, things like not putting it out with a lid, not blowing them out and using a wick dipper instead, trimming your wicks, picking out the wick fallout with tweezers. I'll share that below in the comments in a link form. I'll pop a card up here in case you're interested in it. If you follow those practices, you will greatly reduce the sooty nastiness of your Goose Creek and Bath & Body Works candles. It's more work. You have to be more mindful, but I actually find it a bit relaxing to be ritualistic in that way. So if you're looking at my jars, you're wondering why they're always so clean, it's because it's ritual practice where I feel like I've done wrong if I don't do good candle care. Now this next one, which I had in my hand because I said it was a no trim, this is the Vanilla Buttermint that came out this past Candle Day. I started burning this, I think at the end of December, maybe early January. I couldn't smell it for the first 3 or 4 burns. I had designated it to a desk candle and basically thought I'm just going to destash this eventually because I'm not enjoying it. And then it came to life. It bloomed, and I would say it shifted to a medium leaning towards strong. This paired really nicely, I'm glad I didn't get through it in January, with Kringle's Emerald Shake, which basically smells like a McDonald's Shamrock Shake. It's delicious. That candle is a 75-hour burn. It is maybe a quarter of the way left, and it held up with this one, which is supposed to be, what, 45? Yeah, 25 to 45 hours. This one went for longer than 45, but only because of the swampy wicks. So sometimes when I hear people complain about the swampy wicks, I'm like, yeah, it's a bummer, but it also makes your candle last longer. So I feel like there's a trade-off. Like, yeah, you can't see the flame. It's not as high. It's not going to throw as well, but it lasts longer. I don't know which is better. I think I prefer it just to burn properly, but this thing would not give up. But made a good companion candle. It was a clean burn. There's not any soot inside the jar. Wax pool looks good. Don't really have anything to complain about. I think it smells exactly like those like dehydrated mints that they serve sometimes at like weddings. I feel like you see them at funeral homes. You know, it's like the dry mints that you put in your mouth and kind of melts, gets really creamy. It's exactly what that smells like. It's perfect, and it went really well with Emerald Shake. Next, even though there's a Goose Creek lid on it, it is a Bath & Body Works candle. This is Sparkling Toast. And if you're wondering what is wrong with the name, it is because this is the international label. I picked this up at the outlet store in Indiana when I was visiting the stepdad, and some countries have stricter laws around their relationship with France and the use of the term champagne. So they don't call it champagne toast, they call it sparkling toast. And it busted me up. I already had a champagne toast candle here in my stash, and I should have burned that one, but I couldn't resist picking this up. I just thought it was so cool. And I'm going to keep this jar too because I have to. It's like a souvenir for me. I really like it. And this one also did well in terms of burn performance. No sooty jar. Wax pool, just a little bit of discoloration around this back wick there. Where am I at? Mirror image. This one over here is a little bit discolored, but otherwise, wax pool looks good. Sparkling Toast, aka Champagne Toast, is sugared berries, juicy tangerine, and a pop of bubbly, is what the international label describes it as. I mean, this scent is basic, but I also just feel like it's so perfect. It's inoffensive, it's sweet, it feels drinkable or edible, but it also kind of feels like body care. It's lovely to have in January when you're kind of just coming out of the really heavy scents of December and November, or the moodiness of October. And this is just bright and juicy and high-pitched and sour. I love it. But I don't love it year round. I really only like it in January because it kind of signifies the shift in energy. This one, light leaning towards medium. I would take this a lot stronger. It never performs well for me. I burn it every January. But I still get it because it feels almost like a ritual to me at this point. This one is the Sweet Shop. And this candle is a novelty. I liked being able to see the different layers. I like what I perceive to be 3 different scent levels to this candle. But y'all, by the time it got to the bottom, 1, the color blending does not work well. That is hideous. And 2, the scents didn't meld well together. The first layer gave me the sugar lemon drop vibe. It smelled like a very sweet, almost sour lemonade. Then you got to the next level and the strength went from pretty strong down to more of a medium with more of a strawberry jammy note. And then by the time I got to the end, all I really smell, it's like strawberry and wax. It almost smells like Play-Doh or like glue or something. I don't know, it's weird. It ain't cotton candy, I'll tell you that much, because that's the last note on here. Fluffy cotton candy, and the strawberry vibes are coming from the strawberry taffy. So there's probably at least 2 burns left in this, but I don't like the way it smells anymore. And with each layer of scent, it got weaker. So by the time I get down to the bottom, I can barely smell it. But clean burn. Wax pool is ugly, but I don't think that's from discoloration. There's a little bit of like wax dust around that wick there. But I think most of this is just from the 3 colors blending together into one. And I wish they would have thought that out a little bit better. Like, think about how the top layer is going to blend with the second, what that's going to turn into, and then a 3rd color that will make that look pretty. And instead, we just kind of get this ugly, you know, mustardy colored mess at the bottom. I don't think I'd buy that again. I liked the experience, but I wouldn't pick it up again. Next one is Sweetheart Cherry that I actually had in my February rotation. And by the way, this is this year's label. This is 25's label. Has the little cupids on it with the gold hearts. I like this one better than this year's. I also love the pink lid that came with it. I'm going to be saving this lid. Also a clean burn. There is some discoloration here around the rim, but that was because of the age of the candle. I've noticed that the older my candles get, the more there's like a waxy discoloration film that happens at the top. The wicks also tend to start to get kind of yellowish and discolored. So that's not soot, that is just discoloration from it being a little bit older. Wax pool looks good. Didn't have any burn issues with this one. In general, I think I'd put this at a medium leaning towards strong. Scent notes are wild cherry, crushed pistachio, and whipped vanilla. I feel like it's a very creamy pistachio, and the way that it plays with the vanilla makes it feel almost edible. The cherry reads a little bit perfumey to my nose, but it also blends really well with like the pistachio notes that often have a cherry vibe to them. So this kind of walks the line between like inedible body care that reads a little bit perfumey to my nose, but it also feels edible in some way. So I like it. I will burn this every February as long as Bath & Body Works keeps bringing it out. Happy to have another one. And I think that's it. I'm out. So if I saw that at SAS, I would pick it up for next year. Then I have Caramelized Lavender. And this is from 24? Yeah, 2024. This scent did not come back last year. I love it. I wish it had. I think I have 2 of these left. I know I have at least 1 left. This is amazing. Strong performer. It smells like lavender toasted marshmallow to me. It has scent notes of fresh lavender, melted caramel, and hint of vanilla. The vanilla reads like a marshmallow to my nose. It's very sweet and kind of fluffy. The caramel has like a burnt tinge to it that ends up reading more like the char of a marshmallow. And then the lavender is very clearly more of an edible lavender. Like this is the sort of lavender I would put in a shortbread cookie, or I would make tea with it, or I would put it in like a cake frosting. Or it's got like an edible vibe to it. It's not soapy. It's not powdery. It feels 100% edible. Oh, I love this one so much. I'm going to miss it. Wax pool, we've got some over here, some wick residue in the wax pool. This one there was, I think, a single soot spot. Where'd it go? Now I don't see it. I thought I opened it up earlier. Oh yeah, it's right here. I think it's from the lighter though. When you get these stripes in it, and I'll show you, we'll skip ahead for a moment, because the new tins from Kringle did that. Every time I lit it, it's like the wick would flick, and it would spit, and then it threw particle matter onto the side of the jar, and I think that's the same thing that's happening with this one. I think that's from the lighter. I don't think that's actual soot. This might be a little bit of soot here though. So just a little bit of discoloration in the jar, but for the most part, solid burn, didn't have dudding wicks, no issues whatsoever. Alright y'all, and then here at the Stepdad's, I have 3 Bath & Body Works empties. He didn't get through a whole lot while I was gone, not of empties. However, he's been blowing through a couple of Yankee large jars. You will see those probably in the next empties video I do where I'm here in Michigan. And that's what he's been focusing on. By the Pool, which I should have brought him a second one because he's almost done with that one. He loves that scent as much as I do. And Christmas Cookies he's been burning. But I'm going to share with you today what he finished off while I was gone. One of those is the Blueberry Bellini from Bath & Body Works. Picked this up last time I was here. We did a haul together, and I bought this one to test and review. Clean burn, and that says a lot because the stepdad doesn't always follow the rules about how long candles are supposed to burn. I think when I left, this was maybe a third of the way through because I had done, I think it was a lighting the way or a lit review on this one, and he finished it off. This has scent notes of wild blueberry, bright citrus, and sparkling prosecco. For me, I want more blueberry. I get a whole lot of citrus in this. I get a sparkling prosecco vibe. It has a bit of like effervescence to it. It was a good performer. I remember it being medium to strong in the stepdad's living room. I wouldn't rebuy this, mostly because to me this is a citrus candle more than it is a blueberry, and I want more blueberry. Although I think you could pair this with other blueberry candles and it would be really nice. This one, which I already have rebought, and I do love it. The stepdad really liked it as well. It's Morning Rainstorm. This has scent notes of dewy raindrops. It's a scent story. Softly fall as citrus rays of sunshine peek through fluffy clouds. Wow, thanks, Bath & Body Works. Super helpful. Yeah, this is very earthy, masculine without going too cologne-y. It reminds me a whole lot of Goose Creek's Cool Raindrops. Definitely was a clean burn. I don't see any soot in there. A little bit of discoloration up here in the wax pool, but to me that looks like when the wicks kind of blow up and get fibers in there. That's what that looks like to me, along with just a little bit of sootiness. Alright, y'all, I had to stop and let Harry in. Harry's back there. He's going to cause trouble, I know it already. But anyway, clean burn on this one. Would rebuy it. Have rebought it. Good performer. Again, I'd say medium leaning towards strong in the stepdad's living room. This one we've had for a bit. Got this last summer. Actually, this was one of the first candles we bought together when I was home this summer for my mom's funeral and her passing. I think this was the first candle we got together at Bath & Body Works. We both really like it. I've since bought him a 3-wick. I think I got that at Sass and got it for him. This is one of my favorite across all brands. Tea scents. It's brewed sweet tea, fresh squeezed lemons, and sugar crystals. You actually get a black tea note in here. It smells like the sun tea my mom used to make. She would put Lipton tea bags inside of a iced tea pitcher, a glass one, and put it outside in the sun and let it brew with the heat of the rays. Take that, but add some lemon juice to it, like juicy sweet lemon juice. Almost Arnold Palmer level lemon juice, but it stays on the side of more tea than lemon. It did good for a single wick. I don't actually see a lot of wax on the walls, which often with my single wicks, they do tunnel. They will get residue on the wall until about the halfway point. Then they start performing as they should. No discoloration, no soot, no wick residue. This one did really well and surprisingly strong in the single wick format in his living room. So the 3-wick I think is going to be absolutely amazing. Alright, y'all, that's all I have here. Back to my California footage to share with you my Goose Creek empties. Now we have some Goose Creek candles to share. I'm going to start with the two that I had issues with in terms of burn quality. And I mentioned earlier that sometimes you get a sooty candle you can't do anything about, and that was my experience with Sugared Lemon. Now this one I'm going to show you. It got real gross. Massive soot cloud there. This was burning so hot, like the first 3 or 4 burns. Finally, it mellowed out a little bit. I feel like it got to the halfway point and it wasn't sooting anymore because you can see it really only soot till a certain point there. But then it got to the halfway point and the wax pool started getting gross. So what I did when the wax pool got nasty is I took it and I cotton balled up all the dirty wax so that it wouldn't smell sooty and smoky, and then I lamped it for the rest of its life. I basically tossed this under the lamp anytime I was burning lemon splash from Kringle. I had the lemon drop cookies going, lemon marshmallow sugar. Anytime I had a lemon candle going in March, this went under the lamp. It actually worked out really well. I liked it that way. And I don't see myself always lamping a whole candle because it will literally take forever to finish. But I do wish I could have burned this one and not worried about that level of soot. And I think the issue with this, if I had to guess, it's probably overwicked. The wicks are not the right one to choose for either the wax formula or the fragrance oil that's in here. And that happens. It happens. It shouldn't happen because companies should be testing their wicks, but I think that's what's going on. And if I recall, this whole collection, this like wannabe White Barn collection, had that same issue. So this is a dupe of Sugar Lemonade from Bath & Body Works. They're the same candle. Meyer Lemon, Mandarin Zest, and Crystallized Sugar. I don't get the mandarin in this at all. To me, this just smells like, yeah, straight up like a ballpark lemonade where you squeeze out the juice and you keep the pulp in the glass, and then you take the, what's it called, a carcass? You take the actual rind and the pithy parts and you toss it into the lemonade. Some places do that. It gives me that energy. It's like the whole lemon, but then with like a crystallized sugar element. Not only a sweetness from like a simple syrup, but almost like they rimmed the glass with crystallized sugar. It's gorgeous. I love it. I would get it again, but not in this vessel. It did not burn well. But it did do well under the lamp. I'll give it that. The other one, which I ended up lamping, not because it was sooting, but because I couldn't get this thing to escape swamp wicks. And it was like that from the beginning. And it's the color of the wax, I think, that's causing the problem. So this one is Toasted Pistachio Muffin. And something about, again, that's a combination of the wick is not the proper thickness for the dye. Because dye can change wax consistency. It can make it gummy. So then if your wick isn't thick enough, the wick will get gummed up with the dye and it can't stay lit and it can't burn hot enough. If you had a really ropey wick on here, it would soak up all that gumminess from the dye, but also continue to burn the wax and the fragrance oil. So I finally just gave up. It was taking like 4 hours to come to full wax pool, and then it was like really low flame. And I was like, you know what? I'll just continue to lamp this. And then I'm just burnt out on the scent. So I could have poured out. It would get down to about right here. I could have poured that out and still had some life left in the bottom here. But I just feel over it. I feel done with it. I'm moving on. I don't want this pistachio scent anymore. I have the pistachio ice cream. I'm still finishing up a pistachio, toasted pistachio vanilla or toasted vanilla and pistachio from Bath & Body Works. It's time for this one to get out of the house. This is toasted pistachio, vanilla extract, and warm muffin. It's authentic. It's legit. The pistachio smells nutty, not cherry-like. You get a like a buttery baked good element from the muffin note. Last March, I bought actual pistachio muffins from Lucky, and this smells how those did. So it's authentic. It's spot on. I just wish they could make that without the dye in it or wick it properly, so that doesn't happen. I have a couple here that I didn't have any burn issues with. This one is the Scooby-Doo On the Road to Romance. This is from last Valentine's Day. This did not come back out this year. This looked so cool when burning. Seeing that van lit up, it was really fun. This one looks pretty clean. Wax pool looks a little bit discolored there, especially around that one wick. You can see there's some wick fuzz in it. But the jar looks good. I don't really see anything alarming in terms of soot. This one, y'all, I reference this all the time. And I thought this was a musk candle. It's not musk. It's vanilla sandalwood. But I would have wagered large sums of money this was a musk candle. The other scent notes are spun blackberry sugar and sparkling tangerine. I always reference it's like that Scooby-Doo candle from Valentine's Day that has blackberry and musk in it. I'm going to have to rephrase it. It's blackberry and sandalwood. I absolutely love this scent. It's definitely more of a bedroom scent. Feels very body care-esque. The sandalwood and how it plays with the tangerine reads a little bit more like musk to me. There's like a muskiness here. There's a brightness that comes through from the tangerine that helps to brighten up the blackberry. Makes it almost smell a little bit more like a raspberry, but you get the earthiness of the blackberry too. And then the sugar note that's in here almost makes this feel like a sour blackberry candy. There's a tartness to it that I'm used to getting with raspberry, but it's blackberry scented. It's phenomenal. Didn't come back this year. I would absolutely get this again if I could. This one's strong, and you know it's in the room, which is another reason I really like it. By the way, pistachio and lemon sugar. I don't even feel like I can really gauge pistachio because it never got to full, real, like, roaring burn. The sugar lemon is medium leaning towards strong. Again, I forget to say it sometimes unless it's a powerhouse or it's a poor performer. Another one from Goose Creek, You're So Berry Sweet. This is, again, last year's 2025's Valentine's Day. This did come back out this year. I did buy a backup of it because I love it. But this is the label that Kent did over at the Candle channel. He's no longer with Goose Creek, which makes me sad. Scent notes are sugar glazed strawberries, rich chocolate ganache, and white chocolate drizzle. I do not get the white chocolate drizzle in here at all, but I also get a hidden banana scent. This smells like day-old chocolate-covered strawberries to me, and that sounds unappealing, but what I mean by that is when you put chocolate over a fresh strawberry, if it sits for a day, the sugars in the chocolate, or maybe it's the milk in the chocolate, starts to kind of break down the strawberry. I feel like it expedites the ripening of the strawberry, and it gets kind of mushy, not quite fermented, but leaning towards fermentation. And I feel like that's what you smell. A very, very ripe strawberry covered in chocolate, and then a banana covered in chocolate with no white chocolate whatsoever. Love it. We'll buy this every year it comes out. Wax Pool is a little bit discolored, and I do have some sooting on this one. You can see right over here, a little bit of sooting. Maybe a little bit right here too. Nothing too serious, just a little bit in there. Oh, and I was pairing this with, I'll talk about this when I get to it, but the Raspberry Rose Ganache from Kringle. Because again, 2 of these 14.5 ounces are equivalent to 1 of the large jars at Kringle in terms of burn time. So last month I finished up the chocolate covered berries from Bath & Body Works. That was the first half of the candle. Second half of the candle I was burning this one. So it always takes 2-3 wicks to pair with a large jar at Kringle. I'm very quickly figuring that out. Now I'm trying to strategize when I burn Kringles which 2 will go with it. And the same is going on with this one from Goose Creek. Where's the label? White Basil and Verbena. I'm pairing this one with Kringle's Lemon Splash, but this was the first half of Lemon Splash. The second half, which is over here, and I'm going to keep working on in April, is getting paired with Bath & Body Works. Is it Lemon Mint Tea? Which, by the way, if you missed out on Lemon Mint Tea, this smells almost exactly like it. Very similar in terms of scent notes. This one's bright lemon, mandarin orange, white basil, and crushed verbena. I don't get the mandarin in this, but the lemon in it smells a whole lot like the lemon mint tea. I will say the lemon mint tea one feels a little bit sweeter to me, maybe a little bit more lemon. This one I think is more verbena heavy. And then I think the basil in this and the mint in that are almost indistinguishable. So if you like lemon with a green scent and you like the addition of verbena, you will like this one. It smells so much like it, and it goes really well with Lemon Splash from Kringle, which also has a green note in it. It smells kind of like Thai basil to me. Yeah, almost cleaner like. And this was one when I did the lit review, I said I was going to save it, that I wasn't in love with it. We would see if it would grow on me, and it did. I like this. I think I would buy this every year. I don't think it's backup worthy, but maybe it is, because this was a really clean burn. Exceptionally clean burn. Good performer. Happy to have that one this spring. It felt like a lightening up and a refreshing scent to have, again, after all that like heavy moodiness from, you know, January heavy pines and ice, December and November gourmands, October moodiness. That just felt super fresh and bright and light. It was a welcome change. Oh, and that one was I would say strong. It was a strong performer. Not a powerhouse, but really close. It did super well in my open concept. Okay, let's move on to Kringle. I have 5 candles here from Kringle. Since I already talked about it, we'll begin with Raspberry Rose Ganache. I regret not just pulling the trigger on a backup of this one. I was waiting because I think they were releasing Easter. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait one more day. They release Easter in the morning my time. I think it was noon Eastern time. I will get the Easter candles I want and toss this in the cart and I'll be happy. Woke up in the morning, put the Easter candles in the cart, and this was sold out and it didn't come back, which kind of disappoints me because Love Letters got restocked twice. And I get people loved that one, but that was not my favorite. In fact, I'm going to be getting rid of that one. I'm going to give it to a friend. I love this one and absolutely would have taken more, but I often feel like with Kringle, the gourmands take a back seat. They get ignored. I don't think they're as appreciated as they should be because this one is stinking amazing. So if you bought this one and you don't like it and you would like me to take it off of your hands, I will send you money. Send me an email because I love it and I want more of it and it's not available anymore. Scent notes on this one are raspberry, amber, rose, chocolate, rosewood, and berry. And I gotta tell you, before I bought this one, I looked at those scent notes and was like, ooh, I don't know about that rosewood. Rose with raspberry and chocolate amber? Although to be fair, Kringle puts amber in almost everything. But when I smelled this when lit, it's 100% edible. I just get a beautiful chocolate-covered raspberry. Very comparable to the vibe of the chocolate-covered berry from Bath & Body Works, but I feel like that's more of like an acai or maybe like a blueberry energy. This very much feels like a red berry and a strong performer, especially for Kringle. I feel like Kringle sometimes suffers in terms of strength and throw. This one did not. Stellar performer. I will say, it got a little weird when it got to about right here. I feel like all of a sudden I started smelling a whole lot of rose. And I was like, well, that's interesting. It wasn't offensive, but it changed the way the raspberry read to my mind. It made it feel more high-pitched, a little bit more sharp. And then I got down to the last part of it and the rose was gone. So I don't know if mine was a mispour, but I loved it. I have some left, but I gave up because that wick traveled. You can see the top wick got too close to the edge of the jar. It did come unclipped from the bottom. I don't like when the wicks travel like that. It can crack the glass. So I am putting this out and calling it a day. You can't really see soot in there. But I will say this one burned hot compared to other Kringles I have burned. Had to keep an eye on it. I could only have it lit for about 2 hours at a time before the flames were getting really, really high and I could see soot coming off of it. So couldn't just let this one rip like you can with some Kringles. You really had to keep an eye on that one. Love it. Would absolutely rebuy it. Hope it comes back next year, but we'll see. My first spring summer new candle that I've gotten through, and that is not because of me, that's because of the hubs. Lemon drop cookies. And you'll see we got that one all the way down to the end. Which same with this one. Looks like it fell back in line, but the wick that's on this side was getting close to the jar and it actually dislodged and was bumping the edge of the glass. So like, again, I'm good. There's probably at least one more burning here. It's not worth this cracking and having a accident. This one we were pairing with the love of my life, Lemon Sugar Marshmallow. They go really well together, but they're not the same scent. This one is more of a gourmandy pastry lemon, a little bit smoother, a little bit creamier, less zesty. Scent notes, ironically, are lemon zest, lemon, cookie batter, cream, butter, and vanilla sugar. And it's just a classic bakery lemon. Like, I would put this on par with lemon Poundcake from Bath & Body Works, and I know that some of my diehard Kringle fans are like anti anything Kringle being compared to Bath & Body Works or Goose Creek, but y'all, sometimes that's just reality. This smells like a Bath & Body Works candle to me, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I like that as someone who shops Bath & Body Works can say, you know what, I'm sick of dudding wicks. I'm sick of the last half of my candle not burning properly, and I would like to upgrade to a soy candle that doesn't have a sooty mess, doesn't have swampy wicks, and lasts twice as long. So I know if you're like a diehard Kringle and you want them to be their own company and like you want them to be special, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like people want them to be like elitist and exclusionary, all that stuff, give Kringle to the masses, and once in a while do a scent that's basic without amber in it, without 20 scent notes. This is so well done, and Kringle customers have been begging for more gourmands. We love citrus. This is a stellar creative production they have for spring summer collection. Highly recommend it. I'm going to get this in the 4-wick the next time I buy it. I love it that much, although I will say this performed really well in my open concept. I could smell it, I got a sense of it, and when it was paired with this bad boy, it about blew us out of the house. Just these two going at the same time. And the lemon marshmallow sugar is stronger than the lemon drop cookie, so keep that in mind if you're looking for something that's very similar but stronger. Lemon sugar marshmallow is going to be your go-to, although I don't know if this is still in stock by the time you see this video because Easter was half price, but good luck. I hope it's still available. This one is still available, currently full price at the time of my recording, $31. By the way, if you're shopping Kringle, if you want to use my discount code, you get 15% off. I will make a small commission. It's 3-wick Thesis. This is worth the hype. But I also feel like she's basic. She smells like Bath & Body Works candles, and I'm here for it. I love it. Since I already had it in my hands, let's talk about lemon sugar marshmallow. So there was a little bit of a hiccup with the Libby jars this year. Libby was on strike. Kringle couldn't get the usual tall, because normally they look just like this jar with the same speckled egg design, but they couldn't get them, so they produced them this year in this shorter jar, which is 75 hours burn time instead of 100. Or is it 85? It's 85 instead of 100. 16.5 ounce, so it's bigger than a 3-wick, but smaller than the 22 ounce 2-wick large jar. I actually prefer this size myself. I just wish it was the same price per ounce, because this one ends up being more expensive per ounce than the large jar. And we took this one down to the end. You can actually see the wick nickel through the wax. We got so low with this. And look at how beautiful that clean burn is. No soot, no wax discoloration. And this is pretty classic Kringle for me. Again, you will see people who have really charred, sooty jars. I don't burn my candles for that long at a time. 2, maybe 3 hours at a time, and I'm switching it out with something in my rotation. And that really also helps to reduce the soot on these Kringle candles. So Kringle candles can soot, they can get messy, they can get dirty, but if you watch your burn time, that will be significantly reduced. This has scent notes of lemon, lemon zest, pastry, vanilla, and sugar. So in my head, it's like, wow, that's basically the same scent notes. But this one is zestier, and like I said, this one is stronger. So if you want more of like a Fruit Loopy zingy lemon, it's this one. If you want more of a pastry gourmandy dessert lemon, it's this one. And if you like the zinginess that's in lemon sugar marshmallow, you would like Cosmic Cupcakes, which just migrated from the Country line into the Kringle collection, which I am ecstatic about. Although I don't need any because I bought like 5 when they were on clearance from the Country line, and I'm going to be going through those for the next 2 years. I love them, but I can't get through them that much. I finished up Golden Cashmere, which I think I started this one in December or January. And this was strictly a desk candle for me, although it will perform in the open concept, not as strong as some of the other ones I've shared with you here. But I really liked this while I was working. It's just a very warm, comforting scent. I felt like it was perfect for some of the cooler months of the end of winter going into spring. The scent notes are bergamot, blackcurrant, orange, butters, creamy vanilla, maple, amber, musk, and sandalwood. And to my nose, this is so beautiful. And they're calling it cashmere. It smells like a cashmere scent to me. Like, it reminds me of, not the same, but the same energy as like Yankee's cashmere candle. Oh, what's it called? Had blue wax back in the day. Reminds me of that one. It reminds me a little bit of like cashmere linens from Goose Creek. It's just comforting and warm. The vanilla comes through and makes it really smooth and creamy. I feel like I get a lot of musk, a lot of sandalwood out of this one. I don't pick up on the maple. I don't get the amber. Nothing in here smells all that perfumey to me. Black currant. Yeah, I didn't think of any fruit while I was burning this. This just smells warm, creamy, vanilla, musk, sandalwood, cashmere vibes. I will absolutely get this again, probably in the 2-wick. I picked it up in the medium jar because it was on sale because these medium jars are discontinued. And you'll see my wick traveled, so I finally called it a day, even though there's probably at least another burn's worth of wax in there, but didn't want to keep going with the wick dislodged from the bottom. So love this one, highly recommend it. Hope it comes back next year in the 2-wick vessel. I will pick it up. Last one from Kringle is that Warm and Toasty that I showed you earlier. This is their tin vessel limited edition, $20 for this one. And these are 14 ounces, so a little bit smaller than a Goose Creek or Bath & Body Works vessel. And this is, as predicted, got kind of dirty from, this is all lighter marks. That's me lighting the wick and it's spitting. And I don't feel like I normally get that with the other jars. So I don't know if it's just the wicks they used with this jar, or if it does happen, but I don't see it because the backdrop isn't white, it's glass. And it was just that one wick that kept spitting. Every time I lit it, it spit and sprayed over on the wall. So this is all lighter issues. And I also noticed that that only happened with my electric lighters. If I was using my butane, didn't have that problem. Kind of has me questioning whether I want to keep using the electric rechargeable lighters if they spit that sort of particle matter into the air when I'm lighting it. I absolutely love Warm and Toasty. Scent notes of smoke, cedar, marshmallow, sweet, amber, and sugar. I'm not always a fan of smoke, but I love it in this one. And that is because the marshmallow note in here is so ooey gooey, sweet vanilla, that it balances perfectly with the kind of high-pitched, smoky energy that comes from, I think it's coming from the cedar note too. There's like a, it's almost like a cedar closet hamster shaving vibe, but it's subtle. And then I feel like that's being amplified by the smoke. So it's like those two, which are kind of abrasive scents to my nose, are battling it out with this really warm, creamy, delicious marshmallow. I don't really get amber in here. It's lovely. I don't think this scent is for everyone. I can see why people don't like it. I've heard this compared to Marshmallow Fireside. I mean, sure, and then it's marshmallow and smoky, but I think this one is so much better. Marshmallow Fireside has like a sweet perfuminess to it that I don't get as much from in this one. This feels more, I don't know if edible is the right word. I don't know if I'd eat a marshmallow that was this smoky, but it feels more edible gourmandy to my nose than Bath & Body Works Marshmallow Fireside that feels a bit body care and perfumey. So I prefer this one. And my friend Sherry was so kind and sent me a big boy. She sent me the XL in Warm and Toasty, which is good because this was a light performer. Although I will say, I did a review on this, and in the second half, the scent did pick up. However, still a bedroom scent in terms of performance. I couldn't have it in open concept down here and get anything out of it. I don't care though. I'd still buy this because I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to see how it does in the 4-wick from Kringle. So thanks again, Sherry, for sending that to me. I can't even tell you the level of excitement that was felt by me when I saw you sent that to me. So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, one lonely little Yankee candle, and this is Emerald Herbs from last year's garden collection. I don't have the scent notes on this one. I'll go ahead and put it below because it's in my spreadsheet and I can share that with you. I was shocked at how strong this was. And, you know, there's all this talk about let soy wax cure, and all the stuff I'm finding about candle making is the soy wax should be fully cured within 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most. So when I hear people say, cure your wax, I'm like, I shouldn't have to. And I think that's true. I shouldn't have to. But I can't help but wonder if this was so strong because it sat on my shelf for a year. Because the tomato candle in this collection was basically unscented, although the honey tea one was pretty strong. And then there was a blue, is it Garden Showers? That's out now in a relabel, the Garden Shower one. I didn't buy that one last year, so I don't know how that performed, but I was impressed by the strength on this one. Per usual with Yankees, super clean burn, no sooting, no wax discoloration, and despite the colored wax, I didn't have any issues with the wicks getting gummy. Literally no burn quality problems at all with this. I picked this up at my outlet store that's about an hour from here. If I saw it again, either at that outlet store or there's an outlet store near the stepdad's house, I will buy this again. I love the scent. It's a beautiful green herbaceous fragrance that went really well with Yankee's Shamrock. It went really well with Tea Time from Kringle. I feel like it plays well with friends. It went well with the Goose Creek White Basil and Verbena. But this just smelled like beautiful green, grassy, herby scent that was perfect for spring and really scratched my itch to have fresh scents in my home. One very lonely Homeworx candle in the Egg Hunt scent. Now I know this is an Easter jar, but the scent notes are dark chocolate, cool peppermint, wild mint leaf, and vanilla bean. And I was burning this with Emerald Shake from Kringle and the vanilla buttermint from Bath & Body Works. And I thought about saving the rest of it to be able to burn in April when it's actual Easter. But I was like, you know what? Just celebrate Easter early in March with the label. It's fine. And the label was really cute. This was adorable when glowing. This one performed well in terms of burn quality. No soot, clean wax pool. No issues with like traveling wicks or staying lit. Stellar performance in terms of burn, but light. Like I had to be right next to it to smell it. So it worked well as a companion candle, but unless I need a third mint candle for my leftover Emerald Shake next year, I won't rebuy this because the performance was lackluster in terms of strength. If you are buying from the Homeworx website, that's already sold out. In fact, I don't even know if that came back this year. I got that in a QVC bundle. But you can use my discount code over at the Slatkin & Co website. 3-Wick Thesis takes 25% off most of the time, regular and sale merchandise. So take advantage of that if you're shopping Homeworx. I have been joined by PB. He is in my lap, he's purring, and the mic is right here. So if you hear it, it's him. Let's talk about Bath & Body Works body care items that I have. One of those is the Belle, Princess Belle hand soap in the foaming formulation. This has scent notes of rose petals, sparkling buttercup, and whipped vanilla. I really enjoy this in soap form. Although I will say it's not very long lasting. You kind of just smell it when you first wash your hands. It's not long lasting at all. But it's a very sweet, but also very like perfumey floral rose, well balanced. I think I like it in candle form better than I do in hand soap, but still really nice. Got through a body wash of the Milk Bar Collab Cereal Milk Soft Serve. Now technically this was the Hub's work, not mine. Scent notes are soft ice cream, golden cornflakes, and frosted sugar. I didn't use this, so I can't speak at all to how it smells when you're showering with it. Oh yeah, I don't like this scent. It smells like you left cornflakes in the bowl overnight, and it has that like corn starchy note with milk. I'm sorry, if you love it, I support you, but it is not for me. I got through 2 shower steamers, one of them in the lavender and vanilla and the other in the eucalyptus and spearmint. Eucalyptus and spearmint, just those 2 scent notes. I think I'm over this one right now. It's okay. I think I just don't like the eucalyptus, and I feel like the mint is a bit too high-pitched. I want it to be greener and less bright. It's fine, a little sinus clearing, but it wouldn't be my go-to. I got that at the outlet store, I think for $3, so I picked it up. Lavender vanilla I do like. I'm actually going to be looking for more of this at the outlet store. I have one more left, and I do really enjoy this in the shower. When it's not hitting water, it smells very powdery, but I feel like it gets a little more creamy in the shower when water hits it. So really like these, not super strong, but enough to just add some fragrance to your shower experience. The Hubs got through a, is this a lip balm? I think it's a lip balm. I don't know, Bath & Body Works might use a special term for it. In Champagne Toast. Again, I didn't use it. I can't really speak to it other than I don't like lip balm that has scent. It actually makes me feel kind of queasy. But he really likes the lip balms. So I know he has actually a ton of those. He buys them all the time. Usually at the outlet store, but also at SAS. He keeps stocking up on them. A Pocketbac in Strawberry Poundcake. This is one the hubs had in the car. I actually really like this in the Pocketbac form because you get some of the sweetness from the pound cake, but some like sweet brightness from the strawberry. I enjoy it quite a bit, more than I thought I would. And then I used up a hand cream in the Into the Night scent. And this doesn't have the scent notes on it, but I'll put it below. It's like a unisex fragrance that feels a bit perfumey, maybe a little bit cologne-y from the patchouli that's in here. Yeah, I really squeezed all of it out. Musky, a little bit of rose, raspberry. I think it's raspberry noir. I almost have the scent notes memorized at this point. Love it. Put this on my hands when the weather's really kind of cold and the air is dry, but I also like to put it on my feet to stop my heels from cracking. That's all of my Bath & Body Works, and then I just have some Scentsy dryer sheets that I finished up in the black raspberry vanilla, although I don't really feel like it smells like black raspberry or vanilla. Definitely fruity, feels a bit perfumey. These worked well for reducing static cling, but did absolutely nothing in terms of adding scent to your dryer. So I would put these on par with Bath & Body Works dryer sheets. They're good at reducing static, but that's about it. And I think I got these as a free item when I closed my party with Charity Rose. I wouldn't buy these. I wouldn't buy them with my own money. I'd only use, you know, a cash out party sort of situation to get those. All right, y'all, that's everything I have. If you have any insights you'd like to share either about the empties I have shared with you here or your own empties from March, I would love to hear about it. If you have questions, let me know. I'll try to help you out, or one of my other viewers can help answer your question. If you like my Up in Smoke series, make sure you give me a thumbs up before you take off. Subscribe to my channel if you are already watching me regularly, and I will see you again tomorrow with a new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye, everybody.